4:52 p.m. on a Friday. Your entire desk fits in one cardboard box. 31 years, one box. A stapler you never liked. A photo of your daughter from 2009. A white mug with a chip on the rim. Your badge stops working at 5 o'clock. Not tomorrow. Today. Someone ordered a cake. Vanilla. Your name spelled right, which is more than the payroll system managed in 2017. People shake your hand and drift back to their emails, because for them, Monday still exists. For you, Monday is about to become a rumor. You're 67 years old, and in 8 minutes, for the first time since you were 22, nobody is paying for your time. Monday morning, your eyes open at 6:10. No alarm. 31 years of 6:10 doesn't leave the building just because you did. You lie there waiting to feel free. What you feel is quiet. You make coffee in the chipped mug and sit at the kitchen table at the exact time you'd normally be merging onto the highway. Somewhere out there, your old parking spot is empty. By Wednesday, you've read the entire newspaper, including the parts you've skipped since 1994. By Friday, you catch yourself checking your work email. It's been disconnected. The little red error message feels like a door closing from the other side. You tell yourself this is what winning looks like. You almost believe it. You fix the gate hinge that squeaked for 6 years. You clean the gutters. You organize the garage into labeled bins. You fix the drawer in the kitchen that needed a man with time, and now a man with time lives here. Your wife starts leaving lists. You finish the lists. Then one Tuesday, you stand in the garage, everything labeled, everything fixed, and realize you've run out of broken things. The numbers, at least, behave. $710,000 across the 401k and the IRA. Social Security landed on the second Wednesday, $2,150. Your withdrawal plan says $2,350 a month. The spreadsheet works. You checked it 4 times. That's not math anymore. That's a habit looking for a job. The barber asks it first. $22 haircut. Same chair, 11 years. So what do you do now? You open your mouth. Nothing organized comes out. For 31 years, that question had a title attached. Now the honest answer is, I had coffee. I walked. I read about the Fed. You say I'm retired and watch his eyes do the thing eyes do. A flicker of envy wrapped around a flicker of pity. Here's what nobody put in the retirement brochure. The paycheck was never the only thing the job paid you. It paid you a reason to be somewhere, a person to be. You didn't lose a salary, you lost a name for yourself. And you're going to spend this year finding a new one. April. The market drops 4% in a week, then another 3%. You open the app at the kitchen table and the number has a minus sign in front of it. $58,000 gone. On paper. Your thumb hovers over the sell button. This is the moment they warn about. The first correction after your last paycheck, when there's no salary coming to buy the dip and every red day feels personal. You put the phone face down, you pour coffee. Here's what you built for exactly this Tuesday. 2 years of expenses sitting in cash and short-term bonds. You don't have to sell a single share at these prices. The plan already answered this question, back when you could think clearly. So you let the plan talk. By June, half of it comes back. You never touch the button. Dave from the office calls. Dave, who sat 2 desks over for 19 years. He needs to know where the vendor files are. You tell him. Server, folder, 3rd subfolder. He says thanks, and then there's a pause, and in that pause you hear the office behind him. Phones, the printer, someone laughing near the kitchen. A world that ran on you for 31 years and now runs fine. 6 weeks. That's how long it took. Dave says, we should grab lunch. You both know you won't. You hang up and sit with something that isn't sadness exactly. The machine didn't miss you. It was never going to. That was never the deal. The deal was your time for their money. The deal is done. Both sides paid in full. Somewhere in the fall, without announcing itself, a rhythm shows up. Tuesday mornings you shelve books at the library. 2 hours, no pay, and the strange dignity of being expected somewhere. Thursday, you pick up your granddaughter from school. She's 7. She thinks you've always been this available. You walk 4 miles a day now. Your doctor notices, your blood pressure notices. You read 40 pages every afternoon in the good chair, glasses down off your head for once. The calendar fills up with things that don't pay and don't cost. And one evening, your wife looks at you across the table and says, you seem like yourself. You didn't know you'd been gone. That's the thing about the first year. The job leaves your life in 1 day. It leaves your body in about 9 months. It's a Friday, 4:52 p.m. 1 year, exactly, since the box. You're not thinking about that. You're at the kitchen table with the chipped mug, doing the monthly numbers. $698,000. Down $12,000 on the year after everything. The dip, the withdrawals, the recovery, right on plan. Social Security hits Wednesday. The kettle's on for tea. Your granddaughter's drawing is on the fridge, a stick figure with gray hair labeled Grandpa. Nobody's going to call you about vendor files. Nobody's going to clap. There's no cake this time. The badge in the junk drawer doesn't open anything anymore. The kettle whistles. You get up to pour it. That's the whole day. That's the whole year. 31 years bought you this, a Friday afternoon that belongs to no one but you. It's enough. It turns out it was always going to be enough.